Hi, it's Lori. Thanks for joining me for a Cricut tutorial. Today I wanted to show you how I made this really cute layout of my grandson in his Halloween costume using Cricut Design Space and some digital files by Wilna Furstenberg. Wilna Furstenberg's files come a little bit differently than a lot of other files in order to achieve that white outline around the cut files. So in this next part of the video, I'm going to show you how to achieve that look in Design Space, and then we'll finish up by putting the layout together. So let's switch over to Design Space and get started. So here we are in the current version of Design Space. We're going to hit Create New Project. By the way, it is September 12th. There is an update coming soon to Design Space, but the basics that I'm showing you today will work the same in Design Space. So we're going to hit Create New Project. Upload image. And in the new Design Space, you're going to have Upload Image here instead of Basic Upload, but it'll say Upload Image. So we're going to click that. We're going to hit Browse. In the files that I downloaded, they came in 5 different files in the collection. So we're going to click on this first one. In Wilna's file, she gives you the terms of use. She gives you several different options on how you can use these files. The first thing we're after is the image. This is a PNG image. This will work perfectly in Design Space, but you're going to have to clean it up. She gives you this in case you do not have a cutter and you want to hand cut it. But she also gives you the PNG file, which is already cleaned up, and this is the preferred file to use for Design Space. So let's hit Open. When we get to the next screen, you have 3 options here: simple image, moderately complex, and complex. If you're ever not sure which one to choose, just click on it and watch your preview window. You can see I've lost a lot of the detail here by simple image. Let's try moderately complex. Still a lot of detail missing. It doesn't look nearly as vibrant as it did. Let's click on complex. Do you see the difference? There we've brought in all that beautiful color and detail. So we're going to choose complex and hit continue. The next window is your select and erase window, and this is where it really pays to take the time when you're going to upload digital images and pull them apart. If we uploaded this just like it is, we will have cut lines for all 4 images, but these images will all be on the same layer and we won't be able to manipulate them individually. So what I like to do is separate them. In order to do that, we're going to hit the crop tool up here in the upper left, and we're going to select this top image. And that's all that we're going to bring in. We can hit our preview window here, make sure everything looks good. So we're going to hit continue. And again, we're only bringing in the 1 image. There were 4 on the page, but I only want 1 image because I want to be able to manipulate them separately once I get into Design Space. So here you can tag it, and I would call this acorn leaves. Maybe put the name of the designer, the colors, whatever you would like, and then hit save. I'm not going to tag it now because I've already uploaded this. And here you can see it's in our library. Now, if you noticed on my layout, I have a white edge around my cut files. Wilna Furstenberg has given you the option to have that white outline, but it's in a separate file. So what we do, we'll go to Vector, Upload Vector. In the new Design Space, you're still going to use this same button, Upload Image, but in the current Design Space, we're going to use Upload Vector because it's an SVG file. We're going to browse. We're going to go to the same file, and right here she has a PNG version of the cutting files, and she has the SVG version. The SVG version is much easier to use. It comes in, each layer is separate so that you can turn off the other 3 and just use the one that you want. So you only have to upload this file once. So we're going to upload image. And again, we can tag it here. I've already done it, so I'm not going to tag it again. And we're going to hit save. Okay, now let me show you how to put these together. We're going to grab the acorn file and the cut file. Insert image. All right, so what we do, again, this is an SVG file. If we look over here, we have each layer separately, which is perfect. That's exactly what we need. So I'm going to turn off the ones I don't need. Oops, the acorn is the one on the top. And there's that. All right, now I'm going to go over to the layers panel. I'm going to select the acorn cut file, and I'm going to change that to white. And I want to make sure that that is set on cut, and it is. Okay, now we have this image. And what I like to do is kind of start over here on the left and get it where it fits with a little bit of a white outline. And then start working on this side to get it sized correctly. And those look just perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go over to my layers panel, and you notice that all of these are grouped together. I don't want them grouped together. I just want this one layer to be separate. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to go down here and hit ungroup. Okay. I'm going to click on my white layer, arrange, move to back. Now I can select both of these layers. Make sure they're selected over here. They are. And we're going to hit flatten. And now we have the perfect image with a white outline that's going to cut around it. Now I wanted to show you just sort of how I go about setting up the layout. I've already uploaded all these images, but I wanted to show you how to put those together so that you get that white outline. I get asked that question all the time, how I get that white outline. So to make my layout, what I did was hit set canvas. And I'm going to make a scrapbook page. So I'm going to go down here to the S's, and here is Scrapbook Layouts. And it defaults to a 12 by 12 layout. But if you want to change that, you can go over here to the canvas panel and change it to whatever size you want. You can also change the background to whatever color you want. I'm using a white background, so I'm just going to go with that. Now to sort of size my images, the first thing I do is go to Insert Shapes, and I'm going to insert a square. I'm going to insert another square. Go back to my layers panel, and the squares are going to represent my photo. I'm going to turn this gray, and I'm going to go to the edit panel, unlock key proportions, and change this to the size of my photo, which is 4 by 6. So that's just going to kind of give me an idea. My other photo, I'm going to unlock, is 1.5 wide by 2.5 high. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see our whole page. And so this is kind of how I'm thinking my layout's going to be. That's going to be on the front. And again, let's just change our layers to a light color to represent our photos. Just makes it easier to see. So that's my photos. Now I'm going to go back to upload images. And again, you're going to keep uploading all your images until you have everything that you want from the files. I showed you how to do the acorn and the cut files, but you're going to do them all the same. And I used this one. I used these leaves, and that's all I used. So I'm going to hit Insert Images. And I just sort of arrange it how I think I might want to use it. And that's how I know how big to size it. Now you know your printable area is dependent upon which browser you're using. I'm using Firefox, so I have up to 8.5 inches tall. So I want to make sure this looks like my biggest element. I'm going to go over here to my edit panel and just make sure I don't have it any bigger than 8.5. So I can go up to that big. All right, and then this one, I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. And then the leaves, I just went over to the layers panel and I ungrouped them. And then I could manipulate these separately. And I just kind of played around with placement. And this may or may not be exactly how they ended up laid out, but this is how I go about sizing things for my layout. And I probably want that one a little bit smaller. So you get the idea. I also changed the color of some of the leaves because I cut most of them out in watercolor paper, and then I colored them with distress inks, and some of them I cut out of some script paper so that I could foil them. So I hope that gives you a better understanding how I go about making a layout, how I go about sizing it, and how to put together the cut files with the PNG files when they come separately. Okay, I'm headed to my craft room and let's put this together. Thanks so much for watching. As always, you can catch me on my blog at lauriestory.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again. Bye.